welcome you to this really historic event.
The first Women's World Conference in Mexico in 1975 marked the dawn of a new era for gender equality, fostering global solidarity and action. This momentum continued with the second conference in Denmark in 1980 and the historic third in Nairobi in 1985, uniting voices worldwide to champion women's rights.
I'm very proud that after Mexico, I came and I really got involved. I got inspired. I got involved with women issues until I also was elected to serve in Trans Nzoia as the county district, as a district chair of Maendeleo. Then I planned my way up until I became the national chair.
The culmination of these efforts was the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action in 1995, a transformative blueprint addressing 12 critical areas of concern. 30 years later, its aspirations continue to guide global progress toward gender equality.
Before Beijing, let me say there was limited global action to women issues. We had competing, all overshadowing issues, political, and economic.
The key agenda for us was that as we went to Beijing, what we wanted to define would be those matters that we thought were critical to our region. There had been other meetings in building to Beijing. So in Beijing, the critical issue is that it brought the whole world, and it determined that there would be clear areas of action. Because in 1985, the world had met, but then it was realized that we were talking about strategies but no action.
I remember in 1995, preparing for the Beijing conference, I was a young activist at a time when women's rights issues were barely being discussed. And it was bringing governments together. And I remember being part of the women's lobby, getting ready, preparing documents, preparing our speakers to go and speak on behalf of the Kenyan women.
Kenya has built on this foundation with tangible actions across these 12 areas, from education to health, economic empowerment to combating gender-based violence. Kenya has worked to create opportunities for women and girls at every level.
30 years on, we can see that we've made a lot of progress in looking at the situation of women and the girl child, and that this is something that is no longer just seen from the perspective of Africa, but really from all over the world.
The constitution that we have 2010, it has been favorable to women, particularly if you look at Article 27, Article 81, Article 26. These articles have entrenched provisions whereby women now can have freedom, women can have equal rights, they can own property, they should be treated equally, etc. Basically entrenching equality and freedom for all.
In economic empowerment, over 2 million women entrepreneurs have accessed $180 million in loans through the Women Enterprise Fund, fostering financial independence. Additionally, $157.4 million was awarded to women-led enterprises through public procurement last year, driving inclusivity in the economy.
30 years ago, women could not, for example, be able to access credit. Women could not necessarily have even bank accounts. So when you look at the progress since Beijing, 1995 that is, there has been tremendous progress.
Kenya has also adopted gender-responsive budgeting, integrating gender-specific codes into its financial systems. This ensures public spending, addresses women's needs, and mainstream gender equality into national budgets.
The government has been the forefront, first to have sort of responsive laws that would encourage women to save, would encourage women to access credit, would encourage women to access sort of devolved funds or affirmative action funds, which of course had to be designed in a manner that they fit the needs of the women at different layers.
In education, Kenya has achieved near gender parity across all levels. The Gender Parity Index stands at 1.05 in pre-primary, 0.97 in primary, and over 1.0 in secondary education.
Education is a great liberator. It frees minds. It also frees us girls and women from the shackles of retrogressive practices and norms. Specifically for the girl child, we trace back the gains, the significant gains that have been made since education at the primary level was made free in the year 2003. And with that, the number of girls enrolling in primary schools rose rapidly. And as we talk now, we have almost achieved parity.
Enrollment in technical and vocational education and training for women has surged by 469% since 2013, equipping them with modern skills. Furthermore, the sanitary towel program has benefited 12.5 million girls since 2011, ensuring they stay in school with dignity. Maternal health has seen remarkable progress, with skilled birth attendance rising from 41% in 2003 to 89% in 2022, significantly improving survival rates.
The Constitution of Kenya further provided for socio-economic rights, which includes the reproductive health of women. And I think that this has gone a long way in terms of supporting the legislation, the taxation regimes on menstrual hygiene products such as sanitary towels, which have allowed women and girls in peri-urban and rural areas to have safe, affordable products.
HIV prevention efforts have also advanced. 59% of young women now adopt preventive measures, contributing to an 80% drop in new infections among adolescents and young adults. In addressing violence against women, physical violence prevalence dropped from 20% in 2014 to 16% in 2022. Female genital mutilation rates have also fallen dramatically from 38% in 1998 to 15% in 2022, protecting girls' health and rights. Women's leadership and political participation have grown significantly. Women now constitute 54% of magistrates, achieving near parity in the judiciary.
In a democratic society, it is the law that gives us the rules by which citizens should live. And a constitution, for example, is a contract between those who govern and those who are governed.
Politically, women hold 15% of governor positions and over 31% of Senate seats. The 2/3 gender rule ensures better representation across public institutions.
The greatest lesson that I can say in the last 10 years, 12 years since the promulgation of the Constitution until now, and looking at the journey of attempting to implement the 2/3 gender rule, I think the greatest political lesson is that you can not achieve it without the political will.
Kenyan women are also leading environmental sustainability efforts through reforestation and conservation initiatives.
The National Gender Equality Commission, as a machinery of accountability to the government, has played its role over a period of time in a way that has always kept reminding the government of their duty to promote gender equality and to respect the Constitution.
Women have something to bring onto the table of leadership, of development in the country. And that is why it is important, it is critical to have women in leadership, to have women in the private sector, women in the clergy, women in all these spaces.
Their participation in peace building has risen steadily. Women now make up 17% of military personnel, up from 5% in 2017, and represent 34% of peace committees, up from 14% in 2017.
Kenya is among the leading contributors of peace, women in peace support operations globally. Kenya has deployed a good number of military observers and female personnel as a troop contributing country.
Kenya's journey toward gender equality continues with women driving progress across business, politics, healthcare, education, and sustainability. From empowered entrepreneurs to peace builders, Kenya is shaping a future where every woman and girl can thrive.
As we prepare to commemorate this milestone in March 2025, coinciding with the 10th anniversary of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, Kenya proudly reaffirms its dedication to gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls. The revolutionary 1985 Nairobi Forward-Looking Strategies for Advancement of Women, held here in Kenya, laid the foundation for global gender discourse. Our gender priorities align seamlessly with our broader development agenda as enshrined in our Constitution, in the Kenya Vision 2030, and the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, particularly through the Women's 9-point agenda.
As Kenya moves forward, it remains steadfast in transforming gender equality from vision to reality, building a society where everyone can reach their full potential.